What I'd like to talk about today, by way of my tribute to Danielle, are the various projects we collaborated on in Canvas. I like the word collaborations. In many ways, it describes the interaction and friendship I had with Danielle, and it also describes the foundation on which Canvas was built. Elias and His Trees, Canvas's first book, was also our first collaboration. I often say that this book owes a lot to Romeo Forbes, the artist, and Augie Rivera, the author. Danielle was actually the third hero in this story because without him, there would be no book. First of all, because I couldn't afford another book designer, Danielle worked practically for free. And second, because I would not have trusted the design of this book to anyone else. Danielle knew this was a passion project of mine and I knew he would take it seriously. We had a deadline at that time, so kinulong ko siya sa isang kwarto sa bahay namin until he finished the book. I don't think any other designer would have agreed to such a condition. Anyway, this book started a partnership that would last 15 years, 1 week, and 1 day. The book was launched on June 13, 2005, which we consider as Canvas's birthday. We celebrated our 15th anniversary this year, just 1 week and 1 day before Dan passed away. Danielle would go on to design 29 children's books for Canvas, not counting catalogs and a few other books that were, strictly speaking, not children's books. Of those, there were 2 that I would consider our collaborations. This was the first. These were actually Jojo Barha's stories as told to us. Not known to many, Danielle was not just a talented artist, he was also a wonderful writer who told stories of the things and people around him. So writing about the stories that Jojo told him, about the things and people around Jojo, came easy and natural. This was the second book that we worked on. This was another passion project for me, to write the stories of martial law survivors, but crafted for children. Renz Baluyat created the artworks for the book, but as with Elias and His Trees, I could not have trusted anyone else to design the book. I needed someone who would treat it with the sensitivity that the topic deserved, and who would understand why memory was so important. And Danielle was the only person I knew who could do that job. Danielle and I also collaborated on a few artworks. In 2011, Alisa and I traveled to Italy, and Danielle's only request was for a pasalubong, was for gift wrappers from Italy. So we bought him a few sheets from Venice. He cut out the figures you see in these artworks and painted the flowers in the background. So collab namin yan. I brought him the wrappers and he turned it into these. We also produced a movie together. It was written and directed by yours truly, pero it was all starring Danielle Palma Tayona. This is the trailer.
Good morning! Hoy! Kailangan mo. Hoy! Nag-alert pa sa'yo!
But by far, our most important collaboration was Canvas itself. Canvas, over the 15 years from 2005 to 2020, was built not just from the books that he designed, but from everything else that emerged because of it. We have given away around 300,000 books to children in poor communities all over the country. Our public art projects like the annual outdoor banner exhibit are seen, at least until before the quarantine rules made it impossible this year, by tens of thousands of people each year. Danielle also participated in the show himself, the outdoor banners. This is an artwork about the legend of the Gumamela, which Danielle submitted as part of the outdoor banner show in 2014, which had a theme of myths and legends. We typically keep one artwork from all our shows, and for that show, this was the one that we kept for our permanent collection. When we build our Children's Museum of Philippine Art, I'm thinking that we should plant gumamelas in the gardens that I imagine will surround the museum as a tribute to Danielle. Nessa, our resident horticulturist, says that there are varieties of gumamela that are edible and ideal for sinigang, and that the flower is also being studied for its medicinal properties as a possible cure for cancer. Danielle and I shared a belief that art can and should be used to promote development, and the outdoor banner show was just one of the ways through which we gave life to this belief. We organized various thematic projects for other social issues that we were both interested in, like the environment. If Trees Could Talk was an environmental show that we held at the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. The massive painting behind us in this slide was a landmark collaboration, there's that word again, between three of the most talented and sought-after artists of their generation, Elmer Borlongan, Manny Garibay, and Mark Custiniani. Danielle and I, together with Jay Pasena and a few other artists, stayed and helped Emong, Manny, and Mark for 5 days at Katnig, my parents' farm in Batangas, where they completed this masterpiece. It was a commentary on our current social context. The mural was called Tagadagat, and it was one of the special features of Art Fair Philippines that year. It was just one of several large-scale murals that Canvas commissioned to highlight social development and human rights. For example, the mural behind us in this picture was rendered by members of Ang Ilustrador ng Kabataan, and this was a celebration of children's rights. This mural was done by the artists of Studio 1616, and it is about freedom of expression. This one is on freedom of information, done by Ang Guerrilla. The last three murals are now on display on loan at the Commission on Human Rights. Through projects like these, Danielle and I, together with the other members of Canvas, were able to build a portfolio of socially relevant shows that today gives Canvas some street cred as an arts advocacy organization. Danielle was a major part of the dozens and dozens of shows, both big and small, that Canvas mounted as we grew from what really was a project by two unpaid people in 2005 to the full-fledged organization that Canvas is today. There were the art fairs that Canvas participated in, and the shows that we mounted nearly annually at the Vargas Museum. There was TEDx Diliman. And there was our participation in other events like the UP Lantern Parade. Then there's the Artist in Residency program that we've now mounted for 2 consecutive years. This was a show by Manny Garibay of the works he created during his residency when we first did the program. And Danielle also designed special art-inspired merchandise to help Canvas raise funds. Danielle wasn't just the creative director of Canvas. He also participated as an artist of Canvas. This was his work for The Weight of Words, a group show and alphabet book about human rights that we mounted at the Cultural Center of the Philippines. And he launched one of his own books at Canvas Gallery and Garden. Danielle was there from the beginning, even before it actually. But from just the two of us in 2005, Canvas grew into a family. The easygoing, fun, but still professional culture that defines Canvas today was shaped in large part by Danielle's humor and personality. Toward the end of last year, I started a new venture which I called Marahuyo Art Projects. It is an online spin-off of Canvas. Danielle was one of the first artists to exhibit at Marahuyo with a show in February earlier this year. He put together a collection of 6 pintados, which is a continuing series of his. The artworks that he submitted for this show are among the last, and quite possibly even the very last ones that he ever completed. But they were not the last ones that he submitted for a Canvas show. When ECQ was imposed and the lockdown was in full force, Canvas quickly organized an online exhibit which we called Small by Small. We sought to reassure people with the message that things will turn out right. All we have to do is to take things step by step and move forward. His artwork, shown here, for that show, does that. And his statement to me also seems to be a direct message now to Canvas. Malayo na ang narating ng Canvas, and as many of you probably know, we are on the cusp of a new chapter. We are growing fast, we're planning for a museum, and we want to give away 1 million books. Very sadly, Daniel won't be there to be a part of the rest of the book of Canvas, but he will always be a part of the whole book, wherever Canvas ends up. Now he's walking away with no regrets and not looking back, confident that he is leaving us strong enough to move forward, step by step, with confidence, in large part because he walked with us and brought us here. Maraming salamat, Dan.
The thinker as a drag queen.